Let's talk about our schools. What if our classrooms operated less like an assembly line and more like a modern tech startup? Today, we're digging into how to scale up project-based learning to do exactly that, to build an environment that actually gets students ready for their future.
Okay, this is the big one, right? This is the question that every educator should be asking. The modern workplace is all about collaboration, creativity, and adapting on the fly. But is the way we teach still stuck in a system built for a totally different era? Let's break down that disconnect.
So first up, let's look at the challenge. It's a model we all know, probably because we all lived it. The traditional school day, chopped up into separate, completely disconnected subjects.
This image just says it all, doesn't it? This is what we call the siloed departments model. Every subject is its own little island. And the problem isn't just that they don't interact, it's that we're accidentally teaching students that knowledge itself is fragmented. And that's the complete opposite of how the real world actually works.
Think about it. In the real world, innovation happens when different skills and ideas crash into each other. By keeping subjects walled off, we're basically teaching students to work with a bunch of disconnected parts, which leaves them totally unprepared for the collaborative engine that drives, well, pretty much everything today.
All right, so how do we fix this? We have to break down these artificial walls. So let's get into the solution. A model that doesn't just talk about the real world, but actually simulates it.
Now this is what the future of education can look like. It's a huge shift from those isolated departments to dynamic, cross-functional teams. Just imagine students from a design class, an engineering class, and a business class all working together on one single project. That's not just teamwork, that's real-world problem-solving. But how do you get all these different skills pulling in the same direction? Well, you need a central anchor, and a real-world product launch is the perfect thing. All of a sudden, it's not just an essay for English or a blueprint for engineering, it's a real, tangible goal that makes every single student's part essential for the whole team to succeed.
And when you put them side by side, the difference is just wow. On one side, you've got a student working alone, stuck in their silo. On the other, you have a team, actually building something together. One prepares students for the past, the other simulates their future. The choice seems pretty clear, doesn't it?
Okay, this all sounds great in theory, but how do we actually make it happen in a real school? That brings us to strategy. Let's get practical and look at the actual steps for making this change a reality.
This is the million-dollar question for any educator or principal watching right now. It's a big shift for sure. So how can you tell if the conditions are right to even start scaling up these kinds of interdisciplinary projects?
Well, it turns out it really comes down to 3 key indicators that show you're ready.
So what are the signs you should be looking for? First, look for natural overlaps in what's being taught. Maybe a history class on the Industrial Revolution and a physics class on mechanics. Perfect match. Second, look at the schedule. Is there any shared time at all? Even one period? That's your golden opportunity. And finally, have your students done any project-based work before? If the answer is yes, you've already got a great foundation to build on.
But hey, even if you don't have all 3 of those things lined up perfectly, there's still a way to get going. This quote right here, it captures the heart of what we call the start small strategy. You don't have to change everything all at once. Just start with a single, shared goal. And this is exactly how you make it happen. You don't need a massive school-wide revolution. Just have the engineering and writing classes team up for one presentation. That's it. This one small step builds momentum, it creates excitement, and it shows everybody what's possible before you commit to some huge change. So, we've covered the problem, we've looked at the solution, and we've talked about a strategy to get started. Now, let's bring it all home and focus on the most important part, your first step. This is the final thought I really want to leave you with. Forget about some big 5-year plan for just a second. Based on everything we've talked about, what is one small start? One shared milestone, one joint presentation that you could start planning tomorrow. Because that is where the real change begins.